I've been a fan and a strong supporter of Kurzweil for a long time. I found that early on, when I was first working with the K250, I discovered a keyboard with a Pratt Reed wooden action that played a piano sound unlike anything I had ever heard. And over the generations of development in Kurzweil, there's been this concentration on core instruments, piano, strings, orchestral instruments. I'm going to show you just a handful of those kinds of sounds, but I also want to show you some of the things that the SP7 is doing that might not be what you think of when you think of Kurzweil as well. First off, the SP7, it features a slightly smaller display than is found on the SP7 Grand. I believe it's a 480 by 282 display. Touchscreen, which again, this is the in the line of the SP7, first touchscreens in Kurzweil's history. Some other very cool things. If you can't really see the over panel, maybe you can. A lot of lights, a lot of colorful lighting that the user can customize, which I like. If you're working in a DAW, you always are kind of associating your tracks. So you're saying, maybe all your drums, you might have in some flavor of blue colors. Maybe your synthesizer patches, you're going to have in red. In this instrument, you can also customize the colors of these controls to be what you want them to be, and also the controls to do what you want them to do. Before going into too many features, because I know John later will talk about features, I'm just going to start with playing, because to me, it's the sound, which is Kurzweil's tagline. I'll start with piano, but I'll move out from there. Most people don't play pianos quietly. And when I say piano, I mean digital pianos. They tend to play in the mezzo forte to double forte range. I think the mark of a really good sounding instrument, especially when it's captured properly, is what does it sound like when you play triple P or double P? And that's why I'm going to focus on the very low dynamics. If I just play very quietly, and the control, which is a beautiful thing as well. They call it authentic timbre synthesis technology. But I think what it really means is there's this very smooth character transition between very soft and very loud, not just volume. And what I can appreciate with much older hands that have somewhat seen a lot of wars, let's put it that way, when I really dig in, I get more. Unlike some keyboards where you dig in, you get to a certain level. If you dig in more, there's nothing left. So they've really shaped their velocity to respond to the full range of dynamics. So. That's really not easy on other products. If you walk around the show, play some other instruments, and see if you can get that kind of warmth and that kind of depth of dynamic range. Not easy. Of course, Kurzweil was founded on two sounds primarily, piano and strings when they first came out. I play with a worship team. I've been 15 years as a choir director, so piano and strings still very viable. I'm going to play just a little improv excerpt from Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2 from the Adagio movement, which I love. And we'll call up something with strings. Thank you. To move from that suddenly into a sound something like this. You can see me on the fly just hitting buttons. There are 16 zones, so the instrument can be split 16 times, layered 16 times. You have 8 available immediately, 2 banks of 8 pads, if you want to think of them that way. They can do mute on off. They can do a variety of other functions. But the instrument is always in multi-mode, so the moment you turn it on, there is no program mode to learn first. There is no multi-mode, then you have to learn secondly. And I'm drawing from something called favorites here. So I have 16 patches available in the screen. Is that right? Yeah, 16. And I have multiple banks of 16 patches. So if you're playing live and you need to make these quick changes, you're not calling up some alternate list to pick from or dialing numbers and hitting enter. It's really just right in the screen in front of you, which is great. So you hit a pad or hit something and you get a nice sound. Right now, the arpeggiator, we are on version, I think, 0.98 or something, but the arpeggiator will sync better when the software's finished. There are 8 arpeggiators. They're called hybrid arpeggiators. This means that not only do you get up, down, that kind of feature, but you have a step sequencer. And the step sequencer has 16 steps. So you can program patterns that can be triggered from the keyboard as well. So again, very creative for EDM or dance market, things of that nature. Of course, there's beautiful, dreamy kinds of electric pianos. You'd find the assortment you'd expect, categories like piano, e-piano, clav, organs, brass. I mean, the whole, including drum kits, they're all in here. The touch screen is nice. You have categories you can touch on the side if I'm in regular sound mode, if you can see the overhead. Touch a category. You can scroll through whatever sounds might be available. Nice thing, too, is it's GM2 compliant, which is great. The USB port on it sends audio and MIDI out bidirectionally. Also, there's an audio interface built in that I understand accepts up to 96K. If I'm wrong, I'll be corrected. But at any rate, you have the multiple abilities to plug in like Neutrik connectors. I don't know if they're actually Neutrik, but they're multi in that you can plug in 1/4 inch or XLR. You have phantom power. They can be used as individual channels or stereo. So if you're a singer-songwriter, you want to take a microphone with you, you want to plug your guitar player into the other channel, you can run through the effects. There's a separate monitor set of outputs with their own control. This is great if you're monitoring on stage and you bring your own monitoring system. Your front of house guy gets his own send. No need for a mixer, no need for a DI. The outputs are balanced outputs. So nice and quiet. I'm going to play one more little piano ditty and then call it there because I know there's a lot to get to. Thank you. I'm Chris Martirano.